Give me a sec. I think we're live now. All right, perfect. Give me 1 second. I'm actually going on my phone too, so I'll make sure it's all good to go.
Let me silence my phone too, just in case.
But yeah, so we're live, man.
All right, cool.
Yeah, for anyone that's gonna start coming in soon, welcome. This is YouTube Live, and this is Tommy. You hit me up on YouTube. Yeah, you hit me up on YouTube.
Yeah.
And then hit me up on Instagram, and now we're here.
Pretty much. Oh, basically, I just wanted to know, how did you become like a web developer? Because I have friends that are Android developers, and they're trying to help me become like inspired in order to become a developer. But their route is completely Android. I mean, if you start learning some programming languages and then you know it really well, just switching to different programming languages is not as difficult as beginning to learn one before.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Like if you know like C, and then you could eventually pick up Java and all the other ones, because like C is like Latin. So you could basically like learn Latin and then learn English and whatnot. I mean, that's the way I interpret it.
Yeah. Well, what is it that you want to do?
I want to become like eventually full stack.
Full stack?
So, yeah. So but right now I want to become a front end developer, since that's the quickest in order to become employable, I guess.
That's true. I mean, front end development is very popular. But I'll tell you this: the fact that you live in Pasadena and you live so close to LA is huge. I mean, the fact that you live in pretty much a tech bubble. The tech bubbles are in New York, Seattle, San Francisco, and pretty much Los Angeles area.
Right. Okay, I just saw another message from you, like invite you to hang out.
Oh, ignore that one. Ignore that one.
No worries.
Yeah. But yeah, but I honestly think that the best way to start off with, personally, from my perspective and from my experience, the best way to start off is always with front end development. That's the best way you can start off with. Reasons because the first two languages you learn in front end development are not programming languages. So they're honestly a little easier to learn. HTML and CSS are not programming languages. It's just like a body. It's a human body. It's just a skeleton.
Yeah,
it's just a skeleton.
I'm completely done with CSS and HTML. Even if I forget it, I could just Google it in like less than 5 seconds and get what I want.
Yeah.
So it's just when I come like to stumble upon JavaScript, even if I know the basics, I kind of freak out when I have to actually start, making a project. So I'm like, oh dang, what am I supposed to do? Am I actually doing this right? What am I supposed to read up on? Just kind of a bunch of little things that add on.
Yeah. Guess what? That's normal. That's what everyone feels.
Yeah.
That's literally what everyone feels. That's what I feel every day. That's what I felt today. For example, today I pretty much it's beneficial that I'm the main only front-end developer at my company right now. Not that other developers in my company can't do front-end development, but because they have the skill in back-end and I don't, then I might as well focus on front-end. And a lot of the projects I work on now require a lot of JavaScript, a lot of custom things where I have to work with functions, work a lot of loops, which I hate because loops are so hard to me, even to this day. And so what I use, honestly, to this day, I've been coding for 9 months now, only 9 months. And I taught myself code 3 months before that. But even to this day, JavaScript is still hard to me. I think JavaScript is still something that you learn pretty much your entire life. It's not something that you really become a pro at unless you've been coding since you were 13. So I know that you feel that you don't know a lot of JavaScript, but I'll tell you this, I feel that now. I've taken coding tests that I failed. So what I've done recently, just to see my value, I wanted to see how valuable I am. And so what I've done recently is I've sent out applications to all these other companies. And it's not that I want to leave my company. It's not that I want to quit. I like the people I work for. I believe what they're doing. Cool. But, I want to see how valuable I am. And I say this a lot. And so I sent out 10 applications. One company gets back to me, okay? I sent out 10. One company gets back to me. and they give me a test, and it has to do with an Ajax call, and I'm like, oh shoot.
Right.
I never knew. I've never had to do Ajax on my company, so I don't know it well enough. But I ended up not taking a test. I knew how to code everything, meaning design wise,
Right.
everything, how to make it look exactly what they want to look like. But the functionality in regards to doing an Ajax call, I failed at. And I found out later, like, companies, when they interview you, they always say, hey, after the interview, it was nice speaking with you, Chris. Oh, it's nice speaking with you too. But you know what? We have other people to meet with too, so we'll send you an email. I later found out that they had no one else. They only wanted me. All I had to do was take the time to research, do that Ajax call, and I would have gotten a job, even if I didn't do it well.
I'm actually doing a little Ajax with what is it, free code camp?
Free code camp.
I'm trying to make a weather app. So I got to get the API from like a API.
Oh, you're doing that now?
I'm not doing it currently right now, but I mean, like I'm talking to you, of course. But yeah, I'm doing it right now as a project.
That's cool, man. That's cool. That's cool.
Like,
how's it going so far?
The first couple of days ago, I was just like, damn. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? I was just like, I was trying to read up on tutorials. I tried to read everything on jQuery, like that I could find. I was like, what is an API? What is JSON? What is Ajax?
It's cool. I mean, it's fun. I could do it now. It's very easy now because I have to do it. But you know, it's always terrifying when you're first given that task and you don't know what to do. And the first thing you think of, the moment you're given that task, you don't know what to do, you think, man, I wish I studied this before. But guess what? You're never going to know everything. So I feel that often, like every single week at work, because now I'm getting so much better that I have to complete tasks even faster. So it's always hard at that first couple times. But after you do it 5 times, 6 times, it becomes like breathing, you know? So I know you told me that you're worried about taking that first step in the learning code, even to apply to a job. I actually spoke to someone. His name is Caleb. I spoke to him just after work. It's a Developers Corner episode. I'm gonna post it up tomorrow sometime. And he has a very it's a disease that's affecting him a lot. And we were talking, and I told him this because all he knows right now is HTML and CSS. That's all he knows. He doesn't know JavaScript. He's halfway through CSS. And what I told him is this. If you know HTML, once you finish learning CSS, start building your website and start applying JavaScript as you learn. And he told me, Chris, but should I still apply? I don't think I should apply anymore. But I told him this. I told him, if you don't apply now, let's say you learn JavaScript, you become good at it 3 months from now, that job you could have applied for is no longer available 3 months from now.
Right.
So whether you got rejected or they would have wanted to interview you, now you never know because you didn't want to take the risk. Right.
So how exactly did you apply for jobs? Did you just send in a bunch of resumes on Craigslist and?
Yeah, that's what I did. I created a resume. I created a generic cover letter. My girlfriend Midori, you see her all over my videos. She was a journalist in high school and in college. So she's really good at writing. So she literally wrote all my resumes. She wrote all my I have horrible spelling. If you look at my website, christianlife.com, you'll see grammar errors everywhere. And so she fixes everything. And so I'd have her do all of that. So this is what I did to get a job. You probably know, maybe you don't. I was about to get fired at my job, my previous job, because all I dreamed about was all I dreamed about was code. Yeah, exactly. Now core.com. That blog has 2 million views now. Crazy. Yeah, 2 million.
Damn.
It's kind of. That's why I started YouTube, because I realized, wow, a lot of people like my story, and maybe I can help more people. But yeah, what was that? So what I did was this. I applied to a bunch of web developer jobs. Jobs I thought I can do. Even though I didn't think I was good at it, if I saw HTML and CSS, they didn't seem so strict, I would apply. And also, another website I used, not just Craigslist, was Indeed.com. Indeed.com, and on Indeed.com, what did I do? On Indeed, you create one resume, and you send the same resume everywhere, to the point that it only takes 5 seconds to actually apply to a job. And so I would literally apply up to like 10 jobs a day. Um, After that, and when I got my first interview, which is the job I have now, right? The job I have now, I got my first interview, and I thought, man, I think I could do it, but I don't even have a website yet. And so he gave me an interview, and he asked me when I want to meet, and I told him I want to meet Saturday. I didn't know he was the CEO, and so I didn't have a website to show, and so
Right.
literally Thursday and Friday night, I didn't sleep. I would stay up till 2 or 3 a.m. I'd still have Bible study in the morning, and then I'd go to that interview at 11 a.m. And he brought me to the beautiful office, a beautiful conference room, and he told me, Chris, what do you know? Okay, so I give him my resume. On my resume, it just has a regular office job. And the only thing that talks about code on my resume is where I put skills. I put a Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, Facebook, then HTML, CSS, and then JavaScript, but learning. Right? That's all I put. And then what happened is that he asked me what I knew, and I said all I knew was HTML, CSS, but I'm learning JavaScript. And I told him this: I know I might not be the best right now, but in 3 months I'll be good at JavaScript. Not just that, in 6 months I'll learn PHP. And then I showed him my website, which is christianlife.com, which was made in Bootstrap, which I didn't make. I literally copied it from a YouTube video. Now I made it my own, but at that time, and then right there, he said he wanted to give me the job. You know,
Nice.
yeah. And what's really funny is that the whole time I was hoping, man, I hope they don't realize I don't know code. I hope I can pull it off. But to this day, 9 months later, my manager Tony, technical director, he always says, Chris, you know what? The moment I met you, I knew you didn't know anything. But the CEO doesn't know code, so he just hired me like that. So I got lucky. And but he said, Chris, I knew more code than you, and I'm not a programmer. So, you know, so I could honestly say I got very lucky in that. But what he said was that the reason we wanted you is because we saw you were passionate. The reason we wanted you is because we knew you actually liked coding. Because you really look like we could get, and also because of my personality. They said that you really seem like someone that'll fit the culture of our company, someone that's easy to get along with. And so all of those things do, you know, come together when it comes to getting a job. Yeah.
So did you like read any of like the specifications, like
Yeah.
you know, whatnot, like just like
Mhm.
oh, did you just apply for stuff that was just like, oh, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and you just okay, send? Or
He's
did you see like other specifications, like, oh, you need to know like a little PHP, like this is what's preferred and whatnot?
on my job right now when I applied.
No, I mean like when you were applying before you got the
Oh,
job.
okay, good question. Yeah, so when I did apply, obviously I had no experience. Obviously, you know, I have nothing. I don't even have a portfolio. Even to this day, I don't have a portfolio. What I did is I looked for junior developer positions.
Okay.
You know, and I did apply to senior developer positions, which were dumb. I had no way. I applied to those two, which was really dumb of me. And so I looked for junior developer positions. Now, if it doesn't say PHP required, if it didn't say, you know, MySQL be required or jQuery, which I had no idea what it was at that time when I applied, all I looked for was just jobs I thought I could do. Jobs I thought I would have a chance, like a small chance, a 1% chance to get. Why? Because even if I applied, what's the worst thing that can happen is that I would just get a rejection.
Right.
You know, there's nothing bad that can come from that. And so that's the kind of jobs I did apply for. And I can honestly say a lot of the people who are following me on my YouTube right now, a lot of people who are messaging me, like that guy Sunside who became a developer in 10 months. Yeah, well, he's better than me back end because I'm not a back end developer. But I think a lot of people who follow me on YouTube right now are better than me. I don't think people understand how like of a junior I am. You know, I am very confident, but I don't want to be prideful. But I can honestly say a lot of people following me because they got more passionate because they got that hunger to learn code from seeing my videos. I can honestly say there are a lot of people right now following me that are better than me, but they still haven't taken that first step to apply because they still don't think they're good enough. But I wasn't good enough. One thing too, the intern that we just hired at my company, he constantly says, recently, he probably stopped because I gave him attitude. He kept telling my manager, why did you guys hire Chris? Like he's going to school. He's about to go to USC. He's smart.
Right.
But in his mind, it's like, why would you hire Chris? He has no experience. Why would you hire this junior developer? Right? So, I mean, it's just, in people's eyes, it makes no sense to them, but it doesn't matter what people think. You just have to go for it. Because at the end of the day, if you get a job or not, it's all up to you.
Right.
And I think I say that often in my videos.
Do I see that? Go with it. Yeah, sure. Why not?
But yeah. Any other questions?
So I could think of off the top of my head. We talked about applying to jobs. I guess technical skills as well.
Okay. Well, there's actually a question on the chat. Dylan Pompa asked, "How old is that new intern?" I'm 29. The intern's 21. If anyone has questions too, put in the chat, and I'm looking at it on my phone right now. You guys can see. You guys can't see it there, but anyway. So you're asking about technical skills?
I guess so. I mean, what should you learn? What shouldn't you learn?
You mean in regards to like languages or like
anything from your experience, I suppose?
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's a good question.
The people that you work with, like the back-end developers.
Ooh. Man, I like this. This is really fun. The developers I work with, they're interesting. Yeah. Everyone has their own personalities. All of them are pretty cool. I actually get along. When I got hired, I was a junior developer. The person I was replacing was like senior developer status, which is really weird. And there was another junior developer, but he became someone that's like really, really skilled when I came in. But one of the developers I work with, he's very quiet. He keeps to himself, and he doesn't like being asked questions. Like he'll literally give you attitude, and if you ask him a question, he'll say no. But I was able to like get cool with him, and we're cool now. So, I mean, the developers at my company are really good. I can honestly say from out of a 10, how am I rated? Right now, I would say I'm a 5. I'm a 5,
okay.
Maybe a 4. Although I think I'm pretty good now at front end. Compared to them, though, they're really good. So they're like a 12. If 10's the highest, the people I work with, my senior developer is a 12. The other developer on top of me is a 8 or 9. And so one thing that's very important is putting your pride down, not holding on to any of your pride. Really just, not thinking you know everything, because that can really hurt you in the end. Why? Because, I've seen it. I've seen interns in the past where they try to act like they're really good because they want to get a job in my company. And what they do is they start talking bad about others. But they don't realize how close the developers at the company already are. So, that's one thing to keep in mind. But, yeah.
But for someone that's trying to get a front-end developer job, what are the main things you have to focus on, like CSS, HTML, jQuery, and JavaScript? Or is there anything that you have to add on?
Yeah. Well, okay. Now, anyone can say, if you're learning on Treehouse or anywhere, buying Udacity or Udemy courses, anyone can.
I tried all of them.
No, it's fine. It's fine. That's good. That's good. You have to try all of them. Now, anyone can say they learn HTML and CSS. Anyone can say they're good. Why? Because just because you passed the test on those courses, just because you went through all the tracks, does not mean you're good.
Right.
Why? Because I thought I was good until I got hired. The way you become good at coding is that I say this all the time, but I wonder how many people actually apply it. For example, when you learn about divs, when you learn how to do CSS with your divs or elements, with your header or footer divs or whatever, etc. elements, you have to learn to apply it to your own work. Don't just think of, like, for example, when you learn about padding and margins, like, what's the difference between paddings and margins? What can you do to apply that? How can you retain that better? You have to apply that to a website you're making for yourself. A lot of people say this, Chris, I'm gonna make a website, I finish all the tracks. But by the time you finish all the tracks, by the time you finish all the courses, you'll forget everything. 100% guaranteed. Why? Because for 3 months, I did the same thing every day, and I forgot it every single day at work. So what you need to learn to do is that you need to, when you learn it, you have to implement it to something you're making now. Because why? Everything you're learning will be in vain. I guarantee you. Unless you have, like, photographic memory like my technical director, you won't remember anything.
I think I heard of a quote where even if you're learning something and you don't apply it, that means you're not learning at all.
Exactly. That's and that's something I'm still making a mistake at work. Because we have a lot of reusable code where I'll copy a lot of our JavaScript code to apply to other pages. I'll just copy it, but I won't look at how the code actually works, and I'll forget it. And when I need to do it, when I could do it quickly, if I actually paid attention to look how the code worked, I wouldn't have to copy and paste all the time. So that's something even I still need to apply to myself also, is that when I work on something that I've never done before, I have to look at how I did the code, because if I just finish a project, put it away, I'll forget everything I did, and I would have to look for that code all over again instead of learning how to use it and become better with it. So that's something I'm still learning also at this moment.
So, like, say if I want to start applying right now, well, what exactly? I just wanted to like reiterate the job search and whatnot.
Yeah.
Say like I was at your level or like before, and then I want to start applying to jobs. Do I just look for like the prerequisites saying that, oh, if you know HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and they're not strict on the rules, I could just like those are the ones I should look for, or should I just apply to anything I can find?
Anything you think you can do.
Anything
At least bare minimum, yes. Because if you think you can't do the job, I mean, you probably shouldn't apply to it. For example, if you're trying to specialize in front-end development, don't apply to anything with backend. But if it looks like you might have a chance, just go for it. But what I would do is that, yes, if it only takes 2 seconds to apply, why not click apply? But if it's a really big company, for example, I applied to Google 10 times. Of course, they're not going to get back to me. So what I would suggest is look for smaller companies if you can, and that's usually available on Craigslist.
I actually saw the Google interview videos. Man, they're intense. Like, you have to know about data structures and algorithms. And I was like, what's a hash table and what's this? And basically, you're working on a whiteboard, and then you're talking it out with the person that you're interviewing with.
Yeah, it's intense.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you this. The one company that I applied for, I think it's called. It's a loan company, but they're pretty good. They were willing to pay me like $70,000-$80,000 a year.
Really?
And I'm a junior. But what he did is that he saw my YouTube channel and he saw, oh wow, this guy's passionate. But what's really, I felt like, man, I'm gonna kill it. You know what? I've been a developer for 6 months at this time. I'm gonna kill it. And I didn't want to leave my company. I just wanted to see if I was gonna get it, because I want to stay in my company for a long time. We're growing. And I said, I'm gonna kill it. And I did a phone call interview with the developer who would be my boss. He asked me all these questions, and I only got 1 out of 10 right.
Wow.
And the whole time, I told him, I'm so sorry, man. I don't even work at this at work. I never had to learn it, so I don't know it now. Oh my gosh, I'm embarrassed. And I'll tell him this. He said, no, Chris, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. All I want to know is that you want to learn. And despite the fact that I got 9 out of 10 wrong, he still wanted to meet with me, wanted me to come in. It was in Pasadena. He wanted me to come in for an interview. Even after I did 9 out of 10 wrong, because he said he liked how passionate I was. So that's extremely important. And he said, even Chris, you don't have a college degree. That doesn't even matter to me. I don't care about that. So I mean,
where's this place I can apply right now?
I don't remember. I'm gonna try to find it. No, I'll send you. I hope he doesn't see this video. Yeah.
Do you remember the questions? Like, maybe you could try to.
It was Ajax questions, how to pull and post something to an API. Because at that time I never had to look at it with an API.
Right.
Yeah. So. Yeah. But for everyone in the chat, I just want to say I'm gonna start asking everyone's questions on the chat soon too. But yeah, man.
Go for it. You can ask for the chat and whatnot.
All right. Let me see. Wow. There's a lot of. All right. Hey. Wow. There's a lot. Glassdoor. There's Cody Alejo, currently dropped out of college, teaches some self-code. Sorry?
How many like posts or comments on there do you have on it?
It doesn't count. There's a lot. Metus Perlak in Poland. Okay, I'm trying to find questions. All right.
Wait, how many people are watching this right now?
But it's not much, 25, but usually by the time the video posts, about 500 to 1,000 people watch it.
Okay.
Man, hey, if anyone has any questions, just post it now, and I'm just gonna look at the new ones. Dang, this is hard. Okay, so Dylan again. Wow, Dylan. All right, Dylan Pampa asks, Code Academy or Treehouse? What's better? What's better? Do you know? Or
Code
I'm not
Academy
sure.
is Treehouse is $25 a month. There's also Code Academy Pro where they help you can do projects too. So
Yeah,
that's $99 a month. I just saw it today.
$99 a month.
$19.99.
Okay.
$20.
It's funny. A lot of people ask if I'm actually like paid by Treehouse. It would be illegal for me to say I'm not sponsored if I was sponsored by them. So no, I'm not sponsored by Treehouse. But what I would honestly say is that I would rather use Treehouse.com. The reason is because they have a forum on their actual website, and on that forum, when you post a question, you get answers like that, like within 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah,
which is
actually
like,
used Treehouse before.
Oh, you Treehouse? You're on CodeCamp now? Free CodeCamp?
Yeah, I just switched to Free Code Camp because it's free and you can completely do all the projects.
Yeah.
And there's also forums in like Slack. I don't know if you heard of Slack.
Yes, Treehouse has Slack too.
Yeah. So they have Slack too, and then you could post your questions if you need some help on it because there's a bunch of people you've gone through. But I really don't want to post it because I want to try to figure it out myself. If I post it, it'll be like, man, it feels like I'm cheating.
No. I literally use Google every day. But the reason I like Treehouse is because the videos are like just like what is his name? Miro Furuya. What he said is that the videos are well made. Treehouse is honestly a much more popular than Free Code Camp. Because of that and because of the funding that they receive, they're able to put a lot more work, a lot more design into their videos. And that's why even to this day, even though I don't really need to use Treehouse no more, I still learn PHP from them. I still learn MySQL from them. I'm still learning JavaScript from them because I think they're done very well. And also because the customer service is amazing also. But I mean, Free Code Camp is good though. It's helping a lot of people.
There's a lot of like MOOCs and stuff, is that how you say it? MOOC?
Yeah.
So there's like Udacity and there's also like Coursera where you could take a intro to ComSci class with like, I think a Harvard professor, and it's like one of the highest rated courses.
That's true. There's I forgot which website has Stanford courses for free too. Matthias Perlock asked, Chris, could you rate if I'm going in the right direction? CodePen.io, MOD, CK full. I'm sorry. Either I'm just that bad or I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, why is she talking about CodePen?
Yeah. Right direction is just you have to really just find out what you want to do and go for it. Another question from Matthew McKee says, Chris, as a junior developer, how challenging do you find the work? Do you ever get stressed out or feel that you're over your head? I literally posted a video yesterday and I'm about to post a video tomorrow. Yes, I feel stressed out every day. I feel like things are always over my head because now I'm the only front-end developer, but that's a good feeling because I feel stressed out and because I feel things are always way over my head every single day. I'm forced to get better. I don't ever want to feel that it's easy. Then the job gets boring. It becomes repetitive. Right. So yes, I'm always feeling things way over my head, always, which is good. And my boss always makes me do things I can't do on purpose, even though I tell him I hate him and I want to kill him. I'm just kidding. I don't tell him. No, I tell him I love him.
He's probably watching this
live. Yeah. Everyone in my work, even the CEOs, know about my YouTube. Next one is from Learn With Me. Chuck, let's love fast on Free Code Camp. I like the slow learning. Oh, that's not a question.
That was a really good question though before about like being stressed out because I could totally get that, relate to that.
Yeah, yeah.
Even though I'm just learning, I could totally relate to that.
Yeah, man. I agree. Yeah. There's a lot. Also, I'm a little blown away by how many emails I get every day. I get Instagram messages every day now on Twitter, and The thing is, though, email, they tend to be
Mhm.
10 times longer than actual messages on Instagram and Twitter. And for example, I think Juan Mang, what's his name? Mang Juan, sent me an email. I don't remember seeing the email, but I'll look for it. And he said I didn't respond yet, but I'll respond by today. Um, and someone asked me if I'm using Bootstrap at work. No. But there's a client that I work with. I can't say the name. It's a university. All their entire framework is built on Bootstrap, and I'm the only one in my company that knows Bootstrap. So I work on it every like a couple months, and yeah. But yeah, all right, man. But Tommy, I'm here for you, man. So like,
I
do you have
mean,
any other questions I can help you out with before we end this?
that's all I can think of off the top of my head. Just like a road work of how to get employable. What should I do to like apply to jobs? Those are
I
things
think
that I ask, right?
yeah, those things. Yeah, it's just honestly, just don't doubt yourself. I mean, value, the hard work you put. And if you don't think you're good enough because you're not putting enough hard work, then you know what you need to do. You need to sacrifice things. I'll tell you this before we end it. I have a lot of friends, Even I can't say who, but a lot of not just friends, but people that I've worked with too. I freelance work. A lot of them have ideas, and a lot of them say, "Chris, I can do this. I want to do this. Chris, I have an idea that'll make me like do very well in life."
Uh-huh.
But do you know what they do all day when they're home?
They just don't do it.
A lot of my friends, all they do is they just play games all day. They're gamers, and and that's the thing. If you want to succeed in this, right? For me, coding is like gaming now. That's why I don't game anymore. It's so fun to me. But what you need to do is that if you want to make your life a little better, a little easier, you have to learn to make sacrifices. If you're not willing to make sacrifices to live a better life, then guess what? You're going to be stuck the way you are, where you are for the rest of your life. Whatever you do now for the next couple months, if not a couple of years, for the next 4 years, whatever you do in these next 4 years will affect how your life is the next 7. Does that make sense? And so even though there's a lot of things that people want to do now, it's okay to sacrifice that. If you want to watch movies all the time, do that in 4 years, or do it once a week rather than every single day. If you want to play games all the time, guess what? There's going to be better games that come out 4 years from now. But what you need to do is that you need to learn to make those sacrifices, those leisures, just for a little bit. And what will that do? That'll make life so much better. Or did you have another question?
I think I just thought of another question. It's when you know how like you're working at it and then you completely don't know what you're doing, and then you just kind of have the feeling that you want to give up and just kind of put it off for a while, but then it kind of gnaws at you. It's like, man, like, okay, I'm just gonna like put this down for like 10 minutes and come back to it, but then
I do that.
But I can't get this.
Yeah, that happens. I'm not sure if it's some of my videos. I sleep under a desk at work when I'm just like stressed out, or I'll take a lap around work. Yeah, I feel that, but I'll tell you this: that's why you have Google.
How do you get past that? Like, how do you get past that mentality?
Just like, what do you mean? Like you give up? Like, do you not do it for like days or?
No, like that's what I did before, like a year ago. Because a year ago I wanted to learn how to code like well, but now I'm still stuck in the same rut. But I mean, now I'm just. But sometimes I get that feeling. I don't know if people get it too. That's why I kind of brought it up.
Yeah.
That when they reach that barrier, they don't think that they could pass it. You know what I'm talking about?
I think that's
kind of, and then they just want to like kind of prolong it for another day or whatever.
I think that's what everyone feels. To be honest, I think everyone gets in that situation. That's what I felt within my first 3 months because everything was so hard for so long. I felt like I didn't know everything. Why is everyone so good and not me? What am I doing wrong? And so that's what I felt at work also. Right. But what he needs to do, oh man, Dylan, you didn't have to do that, man. Dylan just donated $2, so I appreciate that. Oh, thank you, man. You didn't have to do that. But yeah, thanks, Dylan. Dylan's the best. Sorry, where was I? That caught me off guard. At work, I always felt there was a time for 3 months I felt like, man, I think I'm gonna get fired. Man, I think I'm gonna, lose my job because I'm just horrible at it.
Right.
But now they need me. I called in sick a few times, and that one day I was sick, we were behind by like days because I do all the front end work now. So, I feel that, but it depends on how bad you want it. Don't you think Michael Jordan felt that? Don't you think LeBron James feels that? Don't you think Kevin Durant feels that? Don't you think Bill Gates felt that when he was building Microsoft and everything was so hard. It's
Right.
it's through those who push through those hardships. It's through those who don't just look at now, but look at the end of where they can be and how many people they can help in the future, depending on what your purpose is. That's what should push you. Everything's hard, but the successful people in the world right now, they don't care if it's hard. They work through it anyway. And so the great thing about code is if you don't know what to do, you have Google. I'm telling you, I use Google. If it's not about HTML, CSS is easy. I never use Google anymore. But JavaScript, I always use Google. Every day. Every day. It's okay to not know something. You'll never will know everything. So, oh man, Chris, I didn't donate him. There's a Chris the Cheat Nomad. I didn't. That's not me. Chris the Cheat Nomad. I donated $2 to him, so I appreciate that. Thank you. This is crazy. But yeah,
you're donating so we can end this conversation.
Yeah, and then Janae from the Philippines. Oh yeah, I'm Filipino. Are you Filipino? You're not Filipino.
I was Filipino a lot. But no,
you look like it.
Yeah, I always get that a lot. Basically like 3/4 Chinese, 1/4 Vit. So,
oh really?
Yeah. I always get Filipino a lot though.
Nice, man. Yeah, I'm Filipino, Chinese, Indonesian.
Okay, nice.
Spanish. But I'm more good looking than anything else. Like, just kidding.
Like a melting pot of like good lookingness or something.
Yeah. Just a few more questions. Someone, Tilak, I was 14. I have an online portfolio. You suggested I'm becoming a junior developer. Do you think I can make bucks? Yes, you can make bucks. What else?
I saw an article where IBM hired like an 11-year-old. So
I mean, I wouldn't
like IBM, the big company.
Yeah,
hired like an 11-year-old because he's so good of like a software developer.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not surprised. Yeah, but yeah, man, I guess
that's it.
Yeah,
man.
that's it.
Thanks.
Well, yeah, if you have
all the advice and stuff.
Yeah, no problem, man. Well, if you have any other questions, just like literally just send me a message on Instagram or Twitter. And to everyone else, if you see this, just hit me up on Instagram, Twitter, email, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. All right, man. Thanks.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks, man. Have a good day, man.
Yeah, man.
Bye. But yeah, guys. Anyone? No more questions? No other questions? Okay. Thank you, everyone, to whoever donated. Thank you guys for everything. If you guys have any questions, hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, email, and I'll be happy to help you guys out. But again, my goal, I put it on Twitter and Instagram. If you haven't added me yet, on Twitter and Instagram, you have to add me. It's Real Chris Sean. Twitter or Instagram at Real Chris Sean. Hit me up on there, and I'll answer all your questions. If you guys want to hit me up and have a video chat like this, send me a message and we could probably set it up. All right, guys. I hope everyone has a good night. You guys are the best. Thank you for everything. This is Chris Sean, Life World Developer, and I'm out.